Which two meme coins have the potential to go nuclear in this euphoria-based market cycle? Which tiny market cap meme coins have the potential to break the $1 trillion barrier? If you're excited to know more, then watch on, because my name is the Suppoman, your superhero of 100 to 1000X gems. I have found the great and the good in the past. I have found them across various different narratives. And I believe that I have found the ultimate cryptocurrencies in the meme coin narrative. So if you love content like this, make sure you smash a like on this video first of all, and then smash a subscribe and turn notifications on so you never miss out on the golden opportunities in cryptocurrency that only the Suppoman can bring you. Now, in this video, we are going to be looking at a multitude of different things happening in the market. First of all, we're going to be looking at what's happening with Bitcoin. Is the market looking bullish? We're going to be looking at what are the current trends and are there any cryptocurrencies in these trends you should be eyeing up to buy, or are these trends actually, very, very temporary? Don't even bother. We're going to be discussing that today. Then I'm going to be talking about two meme coins that I believe have extraordinary potential. The teams behind these meme coins are super motivated. The potential community size is very, very high and potentially going to be hysterical. So I believe these two are the golden hold cryptocurrencies. And then we are going to be looking at bullish news regarding Suppo's gems. So if you love all of that, then make sure that you watch the whole of this video, because I believe it is going to be very, very enlightening for you. So let me just make sure that you can hear me and all is good. Right now, the market is an absolute shit show. And to be absolutely honest with you, people are not really buying at the moment. So I'm not expecting huge amounts of people to be coming to these live streams. But the people who do come to these live streams, I'm actually going to have such a huge advantage, such a massive advantage that people are going to be saying, oh, I wish I found Suppo, a couple of months ago. So, yes. So just actually, take heart from the fact that you are still here, because I believe you are the ones that are likely to make the big bank. So let me just share this over to the good people of X, and it's done. So Bitcoin at this point is actually looking relatively healthy. It's broken out from this resistance that was holding it down for quite some time. And not only that, but it is now broken into the zone, which is showing that the bear market theory is not playing out. Okay, because typically it struggles to get past this second line. If it's topped, then resistance zones keep it down. And the fact that it's broken out means that this is not the end. As far as I'm concerned, we are coming towards the end of month 1 of quarter 4. And quarter 4 is typically where all the action happens. It's normally where the 95% of the price action happens, right? So we've gone through 1 month. There's still 2 months to go. And I think shortening that time only potentially leads to incredible amounts of gains in altcoins that are hyped. So all altcoins will probably be going up. If Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, we do get that euphoria season. Every coin is going to go up, but only the hyped coins in very, very good narratives are going to make the life-changing money. And that's what we concentrate on here. Now, gold is still on the descendancy. That is good for Bitcoin. All the stock markets, all the risk on environments are all up. SPX, DJI, and the NASDAQ, they are all actually all on all-time highs in terms of value. Even the UK is currently at an all-time high. And the Dixie is down. So basically what we are looking for is gold and the Dixie and the dollar basically to be down. And we are looking for risk on assets to be up. And at the moment they are. And we have seen massive liquidations taking place on shorts. So we've seen a short squeeze taking place. And this has certainly led to a lot of the bullishness we see right now. A lot of it has been kind of led by the consumer price index data that came out a couple of days ago that is showing that it's very, very bullish because, the Fed based on that data, are very likely to extend making cuts, and there could be even bigger cuts. So at this point, the fear and greed index has now turned into a neutral, whereas last week we were in a very heavy fear, 29. This is just a week ago. So we have already made great strides, and all it needs is a momentum. It just needs for the bullish trend to just keep going. If it keeps going, then the fear and the greed is going to be following very, very quickly. Now, all season, I think of this glitch the other day. It said it was 100%. We are in a neutral zone again. This is very good because this means that the explosive upside is just to come. It's on the way, in my opinion. We have seen Bitcoin now showing some strength. It's showing strength, which is good because it's the overall barometer. Think of Bitcoin as your vitals, okay? So if you're in hospital, if your vitals are down, you're virtually on the brink of death, right? So that's the same with the crypto market. If Bitcoin is down, if the vitals are down for Bitcoin, then the vitals are down for everything. And it's as simple as that. So people that are expecting for Bitcoin to go to 90k, for altcoins to then go up and have their season, are wrong. There needs to be a healthy Bitcoin, which is being shown by the data here. And that means that an alt season is more likely if we have Bitcoin very, very strong. Now, we are going to look at what I personally believe to be I think this is the golden zone in terms of narratives. Now, what this data is showing is that layer ones and DeFi are certainly, the trending narratives right now. They're the ones that are doing the absolute best. But if you analyze all layer ones and all DeFi, the ones that are actually doing well and causing for the narratives to be trending are all in the billions of dollars, if not at best case scenario, hundreds of millions. Okay, so I ignore these because these narratives are being propped up by, for instance, DeFi, the hyperliquids, the Asters, the mixes, right? Layer ones, of course, it's going to be propped up by Bitcoin and Ethereum. Right, and then Solana and all of the others that then follow, right? Because if Bitcoin's doing well and Bitcoin's the leading layer one, then all other layer ones will do well. But where you've got to look is what is the area that has all the money flow going into it that you can still get extremely low market caps in. And that's what this is telling me right now. And that is that Memecoins is still 100% by far absolutely destroying everything else. That there's RWA, AI agents, all getting obliterated by memes because memes are evergreen. Now, let's have a look and see what trends are presently happening. So, next item on the agenda, trends. So, presently, it looks like AI is making a resurgence. You've got the Humanity Protocol and Virtuals Protocol, which are basically near enough the same thing. They're kind of AI agents, AI-based cryptocurrencies. Then we have got Privacy, DeFi, and then kind of the kind of market leaders in various narratives. So Jupiter for DEXs, Bitcoin Cash for currencies, Pump.Fund for ecosystems. But if we look in DEX Screener, this is where we can see the actual kind of ecosystems that are blowing up because they're at a market size low enough to be able to recognize what's actually pumping. And actually what is pumping right now is this X402 ecosystem. All right, so if I don't know if they'll have it on here. Let me just go to CoinGecko. This X402 ecosystem is actually a very, very new narrative. Okay, so here we are. What it is this is a micropayments infrastructure, right? So X402 is regarding kind of autonomous micropayments. So it's AI agents that manage AI agents, smart contracts that manage micropayments. So just for your services like like Patreon or something like that. Something where you would just pay on a just small amounts of money, but using crypto. That's what X402 ecosystem is, and it's a very, very small market. Okay, so we've got eGen Cloud or iGen, whatever it's called. And this comprises half the market cap. So basically, all the rest of them are cryptocurrencies that just because this narrative is trending, well, because of Coinbase. Coinbase have kind of set up this X402 protocol. And now, all these small cryptocurrencies are suddenly getting, huge pumps. Like this one's done a 14x, basically. And, to me, unless you can find something with longevity, which you won't, I don't really think this is an area I'm particularly interested in looking at, to be honest. One that looked slightly interesting was the X402 this coin here. Oh, for goodness sake. It's only showing me the category. But there is actually a coin called X402, which doesn't appear to be here. And that is a $1 million market cap. And that, I think looked relatively promising. Actually, I think it's on Coin Market Cap. So bear with me a second. I'm not buying it. But it's probably the only thing I've thought, was probably half decent, a decent-ish market cap. The volume is nearly as high as the market cap, so it's showing me there's a lot of interest. It's obviously done a quite sizable jump in the last day. But if you have a look at it, it looks like it is a meme coin that essentially refers to the protocol itself. Okay, so it's like having exposure to the actual protocol. Right, that's probably it. But as far as I'm concerned, nothing else kind of inspires me. I'm hopeful that some of the AI agent cryptocurrencies that I've been, and this is why virtuals is going up, because if anybody's going to be creating an AI agent with the X402 protocol, it's probably going to be on there. So people are probably stacking up on virtuals just to be able to buy into one of those. I think it's a bit crap, to be honest. I don't think it's very retail friendly. They're not going to give a shit, because at the end of the day, it's a payment protocol. Payments means DeFi, and basically no one likes DeFi. That's a normie. Okay, so third item on the agenda is the first coin I think actually has a really solid chance of breaking the $1 trillion barrier. And that is Dowge, okay? So Dowge, if you've been living under a rock, never watched me before, don't know what Dowge is. Dowge is basically a movement coin looking to flip the Dow Jones 30. So the Dow Jones 30 is an index of the most valuable American companies, all of which are household names, right? And the combined market cap is basically $20 trillion. Now, why Dowge is a movement coin against that is because basically anybody who has become rich from the Dow Jones are basically in the top 1% anyway. They were very early to the stock market. They've made, hundreds of millions in their businesses and are just basically using it for wealth preservation, right? So it is a rigged system. Any newbies, anybody who is a young Gen Z, maybe a very young millennial looking to invest in the stock market, they're never ever going to be rich from the stock market. And that is why Dowge is the perfect alternative, because Dowge is for the 99%, whereas the Dow is for the 1%. So Dowge is adequately named because it combines Doge and Dow Jones, right? So it basically combines crypto and TradFi. So the name explains the value proposition. It's a crypto that has a TradFi appeal, as symbolized by the fact it's DJI, which is the Dow Jones Index, that which you can see on TradingView, and most people in the stock market on Wall Street, anybody in wealth management and banking will know all about the Dow Jones, probably more so than they'll know about the SPX. And the SPX is a movement against the SPX has already shown proof of concept. This has gone to $2 billion market cap, which is SPX 6900. And Dowge is just a much better play. It's a tiny market cap for starters. This is just over 10 million, whereas whereas SPX is just under 1 billion. So already the potential upside is massive. The other thing is that the Dow Jones is way more recognizable to the stock market. So this is going to have way more traditional finance appeal. Thirdly, this is at the beginning of its wave. It's already got a lot of very, very solid up and coming YouTubers talking about it. It's got Joe Perry's, who has got 500,000 subscribers, who is a big holder of DJI. It's got Win All Day. It's got 100X Gems. It's got Crypto Queen Amy. It's got Stan Crypto, it's me have Coin Talk CEO, and various other small YouTubers that are talking about Dowge, because this is the Second Chance Cafe, a movement, and movements are really the most infectious meme coins. A meme coin that has got a financial target attached to it is always way more appealing. Now, the great thing about DJI 6930 is it is currently going through a transition as well. So if you've never had exposure to DJI 6930, it's a tiny market cap and it's about to go into its second phase, right? So this, you can see, is very much a movement, okay? Anybody going to the Dow Jones is going to see, it's right in their face. It's not just your typical meme coin. This is a movement. Now, at this point, we've still got the old website, which has a three-headed Shiba Inu. And Shiba Inus have shown proof of concept of the most valuable meme coins that have ever existed. Doge, Shib, Flocky, Dog with Hat, etc. Right? So, the reason why meme coins and the reason why DJI 6930 is because when the retail come in, when the new money come in, and they haven't been in the market, they haven't, had any kind of significant money flow since December last year, and this was when we had a teaser of a meme coin super cycle, okay? Because this is where a lot of meme coins actually made their gigantic move, SPX 6900 being one of them, others being PopCat, Mog, GigaChad. A lot of them made their big rises in this altcoin season, and we have not yet since this date had an altcoin season, and especially not for meme coins. And so when the new money come in, they're going to go to what is recognizable, what is relatable to them, and 51% of the pet owning market are dog owners, right? So therefore, dogs have always been a very strong narrative. I don't think it's as strong as the last narrative, but what you've got here is a unique dog. And what we saw already in this bull market is that Dog with Hat has already done, I think it did something like a 700,000x, right? And this one is basically like Dog with Hat, like Bong, it's a variation. It stands unique to all the other Shiba Inus that have come before. And just the thing about movement coins is just they're very, very good at amassing, retaining, and exciting a community. And that's why, in my opinion, Dowge has held very, very strong. It has reached in the past an 87 million market cap. But, since it came down, like a lot of memes do when they get tested, this one hasn't died. A lot of the coins that came out at the same time have died, actually gone. There's no real community anymore. And these guys still making a noise on Twitter, and there's not even a hysteria in the altcoins market at this point. So therefore, I think that Dowge, this one is going to have a monster upsurge in the altcoin or meme coin super cycle, which I believe is coming. And you can see that the fact that the meme market has been strong, despite the fact it has gone now near 10 months without an altcoin season. It's still the third strongest narrative. That this one is going to pop the F off when it comes to meme the alt season. I just don't think I can watch YouTubers now and I can just listen to the things that they say, the calls they're making, and I'm just bored. Like, I listen to them and they're like, oh, Ondo and Render. And it's like, come on! Change the fucking record. Every man and his dog knows about those coins. They are not new opportunities. They're not good opportunities. They're just pretty pathetic, right? And so, nothing that any YouTuber really is bringing out at the moment, they're not bringing out anything of substance, anything that will make your life change your money. There's no chance. In memes, this is the strongest area. And it's already worked. Now we are going to go to coin number 2. And in my personal opinion, this one is a humongous powerhouse. And that is Pengo, otherwise known as Petro Penguins. You heard me right, Pengo, not Pengu, which is pudgy penguins, which to me is just a penguin narrative. It's a penguin NFT meme coin, right? But this is different. This is a penguin NFT meme coin movement. Now I'm going to bring up I wait to bring up this website because I just love this. I love this. The design of Petro Penguins is absolutely first class. It is exceptional. You will not find a meme coin at this market cap at this level of quality. And it's not only that, but it's also the breadth of the project. Like, what do you remember Pudgy Penguins for? Like, literally nothing. I think most people have gotten into Pudgy Penguins because they had some big YouTuber talking about it. But there's no narrative. Yes, it's one of the only soft plushy toy ranges that have been made out of a meme coin and an NFT, right? But that is it. There's no real underlying story. But Pudgy Penguins, this is a movement. You know, basically, this is about the species of penguins, which Pudgy Penguins does nothing to address, and Petro Penguins does, right? Which is that the oil industry have been responsible for some very damaging oil spills happening that are affecting the penguin species right now. And it's just something that there's absolutely no attention to, and this is the cryptocurrency that is bringing it. Flipping the oil market. It's a compelling narrative. They're not just looking to flip it as just a kind of pie in the sky. Oh, let's just try and flip a target because it's cool. You know, Dowge is doing it. No, they're doing it because of social responsibility. Corporate and social responsibility. Right? So, there is not enough attention being brought to the oil companies that are actually, you know, essentially destroying the penguin species. And so in order to basically be a salvation to the penguins and to flip, essentially, that corporate responsibility back onto the market, Petro Penguins is looking to flip the oil market and therefore make an impact, right? And you can see the various different stages of market cap that Petro Penguins is targeting to flip the oil industry. Firstly, 2 billion. Which from here is a 310x. That's gigantic. Okay, that's basically $1,000 into $310,000. That's huge. And then next up, we've got the $80 billion target. And then we've got a $3 to $4 trillion target. So it's breaking it out into stages, which I like. Because if you were just going after this, you'd be thinking, well, that's a huge target from 6 million market cap. But actually, it's in increments. So 2 billion, very much achievable, and I think will be achieved, right? But what we're looking at is an ultimate potential of of 500,000x. But let me show you something else, right? I saw this just before going live, and that is Petro Penguins' new video. This one here. And let me tell you something. Actually, I won't tell you it. Let me just show you. God damn. So there we are. We've got the ship, the oil spill, basically. And look at this. Just look at the quality of this. It's like what you'd expect to see in like Finding Nemo or something. And look, you've got a character which actually features quite heavily on the website that is leading the penguins on. And I imagine this one's going to be probably the most expensive NFT. Right, so this is going to be the one everybody wants, I think, right? And what they're doing is they are basically all coming together to create a barrier that protects the species, right? But it's not just about the fact that it is absolutely perfectly on point to the narrative, which is, you know, this stuff is very hard to do. You know, I used to work for a company that did special effects for Hollywood, and it took them months to come up with real content. And these guys are just coming up with this content, and it's fantastic. The audio with the under pressure. Like, this is just giving you an indication of the quality of the project. Like, I'm showing you this because it doesn't have... There's no real correspondence between the quality of this, what looks like a Disney-esque production, with the current market cap. Like, 6.8 million market cap for a project that is basically like a $1 billion market cap cryptocurrency. You know, the closest rival to Petro Penguins is Pudgy Penguins, right? And look, these guys have shown, and it's the only other penguin brand in cryptocurrency, right? And you're probably thinking, well, you know, there's already someone who's done penguins, like, try and be original, right? But look at how many dog coins there are. Dowge was obviously the big powerhouse in 2021, which inspired the 1 million X that Shiba Inu did, because Dowge set the trend, right? And Pudgy Penguins has set the trend for Petro Penguins, right? And think about Petro Penguins as the Shiba Inu of penguins, right? So if Pudgy is the Dowge, then Petro is the Shib, and just like with Shiba Inu, there were no other dog coins at that point. There was Dogecoin, and then there was Shib. And then after Shib, we got, you know, the likes of Flocky, of Bonk, of Dog with Hat, etc. Right? But Shib was the only dog competitor at that point. There was Safe Moon that also did a huge multiplier at that point. That wasn't related at all, right? This was the only other dog at the time, right? And at this point, Pengo is the only other penguin, and Pudgy Penguins is already showing proof of concept. Now, if we go to the website, you can see that, and then look, they've got this penguin cursor, which I think is just smashing, to be honest. You know, what you have got is you have also got this roadmap, which is, in my opinion, very, very strong. Because the last thing you want to see is just a penguin NFT, you know, meme coin. I've seen some. A lot of cryptos that even that I've spoken about, have kind of come out, and you know they are jumping on a trend. You know, they're jumping on a trend, but there's no execution. There's no real plan of how you're going to incrementally, because I've been in crypto since 2017. You know, I have been looking at what are they called? I've been looking at white papers for years, right? And really, what I always looked for when I was investing back in the early stages was, what are the incremental bursts of value, where they're going to come from. If they're just relying on a narrative with no real unique follow-through to constantly be propping up the market cap and delivering value to investors, there's no point in really investing. And what you've got with Petro Penguins is you have got a soft toy series that's going to be coming out, an NFT collection that isn't out yet, and you only have to look at Pandy Pandas, and that did very, very well as a collection. You know, the floor price was very, very high at its peak, right? And you know, I think that there's possibly more breadth in Petro Penguins, because what you're going to want is various different rarities. You know, it brings NFTs back to its classic attraction, which is you're trying to get the rarest attributes. And so you've got these varying different, really attractive NFTs. And then you will have your the fleet, as it were. But you know people are going to want to have the leaders, the rare ones, right? So so they have got a very, very good implementation plan. You know, books. I didn't even see that. Develop fun and educational Petro Penguins children's books, expand plushie sales, ad campaigns. And I know this team. They're no joke. They are not a joke. They're not, oh, we're going to launch a they're going to launch this, we're going to launch that, but they've got no experience in it. This is a great team. Okay? Solidify Petro Penguins as a global eco-collectible movement. These guys are intelligent. They're very good execution so far. And now it's just purely a case of the momentum following, right? And that is purely what Bitcoin's going to provide from now on. You know, that's the potential that we have got to come. You know, I see Bitcoin during Q4 exploding through this, you know, this barrier here, which leads it to a new all-time high, first of all. And secondly, I expect that actually in 2026, it won't be the end. That's, I'm possibly, you know, going to miss the top saying something like that. But, you know, stimulus packages come, you know, these tax refund stimulus packages are coming on January 1st, 2026. And 2020 was completely bolstered. It saved the economy, these stimulus checks. It turned a COVID crash into, just a year and a half later, one of the most unbelievable tops for all risk-on indexes, right? And so stimulus, you cannot actually, you cannot downplay what's on the horizon. You know, what happened in 2021, why stimulus spoiled the party was because of the inflation that it created. And I do believe that the party is going to be stopped short eventually because of recession. I do think that's coming. But in the interim, I don't want to ignore the potential price impact of stimulus, right? And that's all that's going to be needed for risk on assets to absolutely blow the roof off. You know, firstly, Bitcoin, then all the other larger caps, and then it's going to follow on, you know, mid caps, micro caps, nano caps, minuscule caps. And at this point, Dowge and Petro Penguins are very much in the minuscule market cap. You know, micro caps micro caps are 50 million. We're looking at something under 10 million here. And we are looking at we're looking at an incredible brand. I mean, look at the animated, you know, kind of header here. So to me, you know, these are the ultimate two. Now, I'm not saying that everything else I've spoken about is absolute codswallop and dumb them, but these two are my big plays. You know, these are the plays that I am investing very, very heavily into. And I'm going to be committing to getting more people on board. You know, I'm going to be making sure that other people talk. And I have already, but I'm not going to say any more about that. Right, the last item on the agenda is going to be bullish news regarding Suppo's gems. So, AssLiquid, these guys, which, you know, they're already showing that there's a real market for this move. And that is that, you know, as far as the biggest risers, the number 5 biggest riser in the top 100 is Hyperliquid, right? Now, AssLiquid, if you don't already know, is basically a combination of Asta, which is a kind of CZ Binance related perpetual DEX, and then you've got Hyperliquid, which is kind of like, I think, probably the main market DEX, you know, the one that is really trying to change the game, be the decentralized Bybit of this, or decentralized BitMEX of this cycle, right? And so AssLiquid, this is a DeFi meme coin, but they have said that they have got a new website plan, and this website looks bloody insane, actually. It's this here, right? So they have got this new perpetual exchange, right, being that's going to be coming out very, very shortly. Okay, and their marketing efforts have already been insane. They're fantastic at generating and exciting a community. And you know, you're never going to make the big multipliers from Hyperliquid or Asta. You just never are. But at this market cap level of under 500,000, you know, this one could reasonably do a humongous multiplier. The next one is Omega Health, which is an AI play. But these guys are about to launch their key product. They're about to launch their AI doctor. And their AI doctor is the AI agent that sits central to this whole project, right? So the AI doctor, They're going to be launching that very, very shortly. I don't know if I was meant to say that, but I know of it. I don't know if I was supposed to say anything. They got, because I think the last thing they said was that tomorrow a big announcement's coming. So I've obviously spoilt the party there potentially. But they've got their new AI doctor coming. It's going to be available on all the app stores that recommends the health plans. And these guys are also looking to not only have exposure to kind of AI agents, but also kind of AI RWA as well, because they are going to have insurance packages for the customers on here. So this is a real business, people. This is not some shitty meme coin. I'm not talking about Dowge and Pengo, by the way. But it's not some shitty meme coin that's got zero substance to it. Like, this is an AI agent, and you can already see that AI agents are already starting with the Humanities protocol and the Virtuals protocol. The AI agents is making a comeback. So these guys, they're looking to target not only AI agents at the low cap level, but also RWA as well. So there we are, people. Now I want to know from you, what do you think of the what do you think of this? Do you think this is a good plan to have forward? This is what I used to have in 2017. I mean, this is a little bit more pizzazzed. Right, I'm going to take a few questions now. See what you guys have got to say. So, do you have any idea if Dowge has some kind of roadmap to understand what they are planning? I think that is one of the best questions I've had, actually. And I think that is what's going to be made very, very clear when we start to see what's coming here. Okay, so the pieces are going to start to make sense. Omega X is the future. I actually think so. And I'll be honest with you, when I was looking at AI agent cryptocurrencies to invest in, I was looking for healthcare, because this is an area that Google, Microsoft, Apple, who else? I mean, all the big players, they're all going to be trying to have a slice of the healthcare AI pie, because since COVID, a lot of what's happened to doctor surgeries, they streamline processes. They won't see you unless it's absolutely urgent. If it's not absolutely urgent, they won't see you for months. So there needs to be a decentralized solution and something that can be tailored to you. And that's why I really love Omega X. Because this is what AI and healthcare is a huge gap in the market. And these guys are the only cryptos I've seen that covers it. Super, I invite you to live in Surrey. I invite you to Surrey for lunch. I love your show. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate that. Be with the baby dad. I mean, you guys who go for stupid derivatives. I'm not going to deny it. Probably will do well, but they're completely sucking the teats of DJI 6930. Like, there's no inherent value in baby Dowge at all. These guys are completely relying on DJI to do well for them to do well, and that to me is not a good basis to invest in anything. But each to their own. But I don't support baby Dowge, and I'd rather you don't use this, because I've seen what the baby Dowge community, they don't care about Dowge, they don't care about me. They are total bloodsuckers. They're a disgusting community, and quite frankly, I'd be quite happy to see that die, to be honest. But to each their own at the same time. Let's see if there's any other questions. Do you guys have any suggestions? All these idiots from Baby Dowge are actually quite insufferable, to be honest. Guys, please, sometimes come up with something. Feet coin? I like feet coin. You know I do. Can repeat tits? I do think so, yes. It's got that edge to be able to do so. This is stupid. Why this comes up first, I have no idea. Like, it's got $13 of volume. How fucking stupid. But this is the feet coin, right? And yeah, I think that this is gonna absolutely eclipse 1 million as soon as the alt season starts. You know, I think that this one has probably got one of the hardest trajectories to go. Right, this one has got the potential to just absolutely become a monster, absolute monster. Right, but you know, nobody believed me about tits. So I don't expect for people to necessarily believe me until it actually happens. But, you know, there we are. Kite! Kite coin, I have asked them to just don't bother with trying to what's the word? Appeal the decision. Just create a new one. Just create a new one. Right? So, you know, this one's going to be back up and running soon. But, you know, just create a new one is all I had to say to them, right? Because, you know, they've got everything going for it. You know, it's perfect. Their website's absolutely crisp, beautiful. Like, the community's already started. The community's, you know, quite strong already at this point. So, yeah, you know, so he'll come back. Just give it time. I think that's something that you see quite often during these bear periods is that just everybody kind of just has takes a bit of a break. If I had a choice, I wouldn't be making a video today. I'd make a video, you know, as soon as Bitcoin hits a new all-time high and just be a glory YouTuber, you know, just strike while the iron's hot. Don't bother with making content when nobody's buying. But, you know, I think that crypto is all about timing, and, you know, talking about stuff where if you were earlier, you would have made the money, means that I won't be responsible for people making money. So I therefore make the content like now, right? Because, you know, at a certain point, the floor will be hit if it hasn't already, and then, you know, and then it's just up only for a nice, beautiful period of time. Okay, that's it, I believe, people. It's time for me to do my fatherly duties, which I take very seriously. So I do have to go. Snorter just launched. I saw Crypto Gains did some scammy video on it, so I didn't really pay any attention. So I think like all pre-sales, they're a pile of shit. Oh no, that's horrible, Ronster. I hope there isn't really a coin called that. What about Suppoman in the private group? Yeah, I mean, at this point, Sunshine is currently onboarding for that. Let me just have a look at. I hope there isn't really that kind of a hateful coin like that. No, there isn't. Okay, so he was just making a joke about it, unless it's on like pub.fun or something. BitChat is the future. What a shit. Right, people, I think I've gone through a lot of the recommendations that you guys... Any plans for Halloween? I love Halloween. God damn, I love Halloween. Halloween is my... probably my favourite season. It used to be Christmas, but now it's Halloween. Halloween has everything. It's just a sexy period, isn't it? Just type sexy in the chat if you know what I mean. It's a sexy period. I spent the last couple of days, I watched 5 Halloween films. I love Halloween. Today I'm going to be doing some pumpkin carving. Yes! Yeah, I love Halloween, people. I absolutely love it. But there was a Halloween coin. I wouldn't touch that. I don't like things that are too seasonal, you know. But you know where I stand. Pengo. Oh, this one. Look, it's now gotten over the resistance. Now it's going to be supported. I reckon that Pengo is an absolute monster. And you only have to look at this. And look, they've had two videos now, which have, just to be honest, broke the internet, crypto internet, in my opinion, anyway. This is a mega hit in the making. And actually, if we have a look at the one they did, this one has had 227,000 people watching it. right? And that's all you need, right? You just need to be constantly being in front of people. So let me just retweet this, because that's all you need. I'm gonna quote retweet it later, but for now I'm just gonna repost it, because yeah, if you're ever watching YouTube and you get like Last War Survival or whatever, that game where you're just like dragging an army to shoot loads of people coming at you, right? I've seen that advert like 100 times, and I never ever got it. And then today I got it, right? Because they've just shown it to me so many times, and I'm like, right, fuck, I'm just gonna get it now. And that's the same with Pudgy Penguins. Like, the more people are gonna see it, then eventually they're gonna be like, I'm gonna get it. Even if it's like 30 million market cap, which at this point, it's only 6. Right? So just take that into consideration. Once word of mouth travels, and these guys have clearly got the skills to make viral videos, you know, this is going to absolutely blow up. These guys are just insane. If you're watching Pudgy Penguins, Petro Penguins team, and I know that I hope that they are, then you guys are doing a phenomenal job. Seriously. One of the best executions I've seen. Definitely. Right, okay, people. I am going to be making a move then. So, hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope this enlightened you as to why I believe that these two particular meme coins, and I've shown you proof of why, these are belters, real belters. And really, all it takes is the inertia of an altcoin season to make life-changing money. Till next time, people, I've been the Suppoman. You've been awesome. Enjoy your Halloween celebrations if you love it. And I will see you next time. It is lights out, all out.